garde. Numéro 43, troisième ligne d'ascent. Troisième ligne de grille de départ pour nous avec le Pegasus Racing et la numéro 29 pour la Morgane Nissan engagée en
et puis également proposer au...
Hi, how are you? Where are we? Oh!
Ich wünsche euch ein gutes Rennen. Alles Gute. Bei Unfälle für Ja, genau, das war
J'adore ce passage ici, we love you really. Bon,
Ready to go?
le team Sarthe Racing.
Monsieur le Président, merci beaucoup de nous accueillir. Non, c'est vraiment un plaisir.
On arrive à améliorer l'ensemble des performances de l'industrie automobile et notamment par rapport à l'objectif de réduire la consommation de carburant.
Stéphane va le faire bien en fait,
C'est pas un volant, ça, c'est un ordinateur.
De la deuxième Aspa.
Welcome back to Le Mans 24 Minutes. Timo Bernhard and Neil Yanni are in their cars ready to lead the grid out for the start of the Le Mans 24 Hours. The front row lockout and number 3 lockout by Porsche, and then the Audis behind them. Of course, there are many races in the lead up to this, support races. You would have seen earlier the Legends, the Le Mans Legends race on live on Eurosport. You're live on Eurosport now. I'm Neil Cole. Hello. There was also the Aston Martin Festival race. Let's have a look at the highlights of that.
As part of the build-up to the race later on today, the 24 Hours itself, the Aston Martin Racing Festival wowed the crowds with many GT cars and even a few prototypes around the circuit as well. Some great wheel-to-wheel battles throughout, with Beach Dean and various other well-known names in the world of Aston Martin making their debuts around the circuit. But not everybody had a great race, as Stuart Hall was able to tell Liz Halliday after the red flag.
I'm here with Stuart Hall, which should have been the winner of this very prestigious Aston Martin race. Stewie, what really happened out there? This should have been a great warm-up for you for the 24 Hours today.
Yeah, we only did 2 laps because the car there was a safety car. Well, let me take you back to the start. We were going to do the race where I was going to have a lap penalty and a slightly longer pit stop to sort of make it a little bit more interesting, because I was the only LMP1 car out there, so I was a bit of a big advantage. Unfortunately, the safety car came out, so and then they red flagged it for some reason. So we only did 2 flying laps. So I made a lot of noise. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. I did. And it's on to the big one in a few hours.
Well, I know I enjoyed the noise. It sounds like a rocket ship out there. And this is kind of a special car for you. Obviously, you drove this actual car in the Le Mans 24 Hours. What does it feel like to be back out there driving this machine?
Oh, it's fantastic. I think, you know, the LMP1 cars nowadays are highly sophisticated machines that are super fast, but they don't just make the noise that these did in the day. So the noise is fantastic, and you know, it's a real pleasure to drive.
Great. Well, we wish you lots of luck for the 24 Hour. You better go and get ready. Back to you, Neil.
So there we go. There's the incredible access right now. We're only 15 minutes away from the race, and I could touch the car. I'd probably get shot. So this is the front row, the 2 Porsches. The key question there, we were looking at the tyres, is how will this team manage their tyres? Because we know this car is super quick, but will they be able to manage the degradation of the tyres with all that extra downforce? Meanwhile, these guys will be hunting them down for 24 hours. It's a marathon and a sprint, and it starts very soon. After the trouble for Chevrolet number 63, look, there's even tyres with cuts in them ready. They're not slicks. Maybe they're expecting rain. So car number 63, of course, the Chevrolet had a big crash in qualifying and will not take part. But I think Liz is with Oliver Gavin, who's in car number 64.
Thank you. I'm here with Ollie Gavin. This is your 15th Le Mans, am I right? That's incredible to even fathom. And you've got your whole family here. It's a really great time for you here standing on the grid, isn't it?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, this really is a special place. You know, Le Mans is an exceptionally great track, great, amazing, sort of passionate race. The French do make it very special here. And we're looking forward to it today. It's tough because we're down to one car. Unfortunately, the 63 car had a very unfortunate accident and they put it out of the race, but it means double the effort behind the 64. They'll be rooting for Tommy, Jordan and I, and hopefully we can come through and stand on that top step.
Well, of course, I'll be fighting for you guys as a US-run team, but you kind of are due some luck, I think, at Le Mans. It's been since 2011, I believe, since you last won this race. Kind of had a string of bad luck. What's going to be the plan today to just try and keep it all together?
Just stay out of trouble, try and avoid all the incidents and accidents best you can, and just hope for that bit of luck. We've got a good game plan. We know what we're doing. Jordan and Tommy are well drilled. They've been here before. They know how to finish here on the podium or even win it. So, you know, we've got all the tools there to do it. It's just all about executing and just having that little bit of luck.
Well, I got my fingers crossed for you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tom, we just saw you having a word with Loic and you're giving a thumbs up there. What did you say to Loic on the grid?
To Loic, I absolutely said nothing. It was a handshake and eye contact.
Okay. And that's important. Now, you're going to go and get in that car over there. Good luck. Do you think you will be able to bring it back in or just keep going for 24 hours?
I am promised. I'm sure there's a lot of safety devices to make sure that I will pull in. No, I'm here for the race, and what a build-up, what a fantastic event we are going to experience, and I'm just honored to be leading my last lap at Le Mans.
And it's an honor to see you here.
Thank you.
Cheers, Tom. I think back down there, Adelaide should be with Nicolas Prost.
Yes, Neil, I am with Nicolas. We saw the Porsche very, very fast. But what could be your objective, your own expectation?
You know, I think we have a much faster car than last year. It's a very long race. Obviously, we cannot fight with the free works team, top team. We have to first beat Nissan and beat Colossus, so to finish first privateer, and then you know the hybrid systems are quite complicated. So I'm pretty sure they're going to run into some problems. If we can have good reliability, you know, there's a good chance of finishing in the top 5, and maybe even why not in the podium.
The big moment has arrived now. You will follow the start from the garage. What can you feel?
Obviously, it's a really exciting moment. You know, it's start of a long race. You know, a long race, long night, everything. But you know, it's my 8th time around here, so I'm getting a bit used to it. But it's always a bit of stress also, you know, you want to do very well. But yeah, I have 2 very good teammates. We have a very good engineer. We're ready and we're up for the fight now.
Thank you, Nicolas.
So a very familiar face there, Nicolas Prost in the Rebellion. We've got a little bit more time with you than we expected, Tom. Do you think any of the drivers here in this field are likely to beat your record?
Not during this race. But there's a lot of records in the race in total. There's some records which will fall during this race in total from other people. It's going to be a very, very fast race, and I'm no doubt that records are there to be broken. And if you speak about my personal record about the win, I look forward to congratulate somebody who will achieve that, because that will be a huge honor for me to celebrate what he would then have achieved when the day comes.
Now, obviously, you are an Audi ambassador, an Audi legend. You got 3 Porsches at the front. Final word before we come off air live and the race starts. What's your prediction for the race? Obviously, it's going to be tight. What do you think, head and heart?
No, it's I'm Grand Marshal. The whole race over all categories. I've never seen it so content before. It's incredibly close, difficult to pick, and that's what makes it so exciting. The drivers have never been fitter, certainly not the 9 drivers in the Audis. They are athletes today, and all the way down the field, you see they have looked up to that, they have seen that, and that's why the race, it can be small detail which can predict the winner at the end. But talk to me about midnight and we have a better answer.
I'll take you up on that. Tom Christensen, and we'll be back during the night, but keep watching here live on Eurosport. We have to clear the grid. We're being kicked off. Thanks very much for watching, but don't go anywhere because the Le Mans 24 Hours is about to start in 10 minutes. I'll be watching it, and so will you.
Welcome to Eurosport live in the commentary box. Thank you, Neil Cole, Liz Halliday and Adelaide for all the grid work. We are now getting ready on the formation lap for what is now the world's greatest race. Just look at the background, if you don't believe me. 270,000 plus spectators. I'm Mark Cole. With me is Jeremy Shaw, and with us is Damien Faulkner, our driver expert. Gentlemen, good afternoon, and we are building up perhaps one of the classic Le Mans.
Absolutely right, Mark Cole. I think this is going to be, there's been a lot of build-up to this event, a lot of anticipation, and look, the cars are on the track. Look at the side of the track there as the cars go through the S's on their formation lap. It's going to be such a tremendous battle. The technology on these cars is absolutely amazing. Just the one fact, they're using 30% less fuel than they were just 2 years ago. Just unbelievable to me in the prototype ranks. And the GT battle is just going to be just as intense, Damien.
Well, good afternoon, guys. Great to be here. Beautifully sunny day, 25 degrees or thereabouts, and probably getting a little bit hotter. No sign of the rain that was forecasted earlier in the week, so that's good. Fabulous spectacle here. We've a shot overhead, but yeah, Jeremy, I mean, it's building up to be a fabulous race. Of course, we've got in the P1s 4 manufacturers now, with Nissan joining the fold this year, although probably not in contention for victory, but we're on board in the number 17, and those guys are very much in the hunt for victory.
Yeah, Neil Jani then, our record pole holder this year. That pole reduced down to 2:15, 2:16, 2:16, 2:17, 2:18 behind him, and that's all Porsches. Jarny, Bernhardt and Hulkenberg, and they're getting closer and closer to the outright record for this circuit set by Peugeot in 2008, but the ASO saying they're getting too fast. We want to peg them back now. P2, great performance by Richard Bradley, the man from Singapore, for KCMG.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a very hotly contested class with lots of runners and lots of top drivers in there. I see Sam Bird name up on the screen there. Yeah, it's hugely contested. Number of different engine manufacturers. They're mostly, I think, all on Nissan, different Michelin tires rather. All in different chassis as well. So fabulous contest, and it's impossible to predict the winner.
Jeremy, Aston Martin have really claimed both GT Pro and GTM, and we thought the Corvettes maybe were going to be full on this year, but big problems for them.
Yeah, unfortunately we're only going to see one of the factory Corvettes in this race. Jan Magnussen, a huge crash on Thursday night. That car, not only has it not been able to be repaired for this race, it's already back at the factory in the United States, and they're hoping to repair it for another race in the GT United Sports Car Championship at Watkins Glen in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, big dramas there. But the other car is fast, and the Oliver Gavin, Tommy Milner, and Jordan Taylor, they've got as good a chance as anybody in this very tightly contested field. Yeah, there's very little to choose between the different manufacturers, I think, in ultimate pace in GT.
And then just to compound the injury, one of the sister cars running in Pro-Am by Labra, that was crashed heavily this morning in the warm-up, exactly the same place as Magnussen.
Exactly the same place, thankfully not exactly the same cause of the incident. Mechanical failure on Jan Magnussen's car, a driver error, I think. It was Gianluca Roda who went off the road in the Porsche curves this morning. There was a lot of damage to the right-hand side of that car, both front and rear corners. I saw the left front was hanging off, but apparently the damage on the right rear was even worse. But they got that car out. It was on the grid. It did a reconnaissance lap before that, so they are good to go.
So not since the end of the Group C days, when we had 8 manufacturers involved, have we seen such depth and quality in the field. Just look at these shots. I mean, this is magnificent. Anyone who loves sports car racing, anyone who loves motor racing, you can be nothing but gladdened in your heart.
A huge crowd here. I mean, we're situated here in the Ford chicane, and look across the road, we can see, I mean, it's got to be 8-10 deep there against the barriers. It's like that at all the spectator points all the way around the track. Tremendous crowd, perfect weather conditions, and you know, look at that crowd there. It's absolutely magnificent. The atmosphere has been electric all week long, and now just moments away from the start of the race. Yeah, we talked just briefly about the weather, perhaps. As you can see, it's absolutely picture perfect. There was a lot of talk about rain, particularly tomorrow, but we're hearing now that's quite unlikely. A lot of rain yesterday, perhaps that's gone all out of the way, and maybe we're in for an all-green race.
And Damon, you yourself are going to be racing at Watkins Glen in a couple of weeks. You're our driver expert here today, and one thing that's really stood out amongst all the quality, all the factory teams, all the experience, we've also got 46 rookie drivers here this year.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I think it's great to see, because there's the old sort of well-known rhetoric that, you know, the questions from the team bosses, you know, how much experience have you got? So I think it's fabulous to see that amount of rookie drivers. And, you know, I think we saw one Richie Stanaway on pole, at least one driver, rookie driver. So in the GTE Pro class, in fact, he's in the starting car as well.
This is what we don't want already on the formation lap. We've got a problem for a Ferrari. He's got going again. Maybe he's rebooted the electrics, which you can do nowadays, can't you? But
yeah, everything's, I mean, there's just so many electrical systems, and it's almost like when your computer crashes, you just have to sort of reboot it. So I would imagine over the course of the next 24 hours, you'll see several points where cars stop, their lights will go out, and that's them just rebooting the system. Hopefully it'll not happen for many.
So we're on board with Ollie Gavin just then in the Corvette.
Yeah, and they're pretty confident down there at Corvette Racing. They know they've got a good car. They haven't perhaps shown the ultimate pace. They didn't get out to set a lap time in the final session. There's a look at Brendan Hartley and Mark Webber, who will be sharing their car with Timo Bernhard, who will start the race in that number 17 car today. Yeah, you know, the Corvettes are strong, and they are going to be, I think they're going to be right on the pace. They're confident, they know they've got a good car. Last year was the first time here with the C7R, and that year of experience is exactly what you need. It's huge benefits coming to this second year around.
No,
yeah.
This is where the safety car is about to tell the field they are to form up in grid formation as they come through sector 29, which is just as they come through the Porsche curves. Gradually, they'll be getting side by side as they come down through here. And there's this magnificent 3 Porsches, 3 Audis, 2 Toyotas, 2 Rebellions at the top of the P1 field. A few cars sent back down the field, including the Bicolis car, the AER-powered car, because the drivers didn't manage to hit the 110% time, nor did the 3 Nissans.
No, all 3 Nissans at the back as well. And also in GT, we're seeing the heavily favoured car number 71 of Olivier Beretta. That is starting at the very back of the field as well, because he wasn't within 120% of the pole overall, which is fairly bizarre ruling, because it's very competitive, that GT field, and he wasn't far off the pace.
We just saw 2 presidents there watching the start. Francois Hollande of France, Jean Todt of the FIA. We have got Tom Christensen as the Grand Marshal and Bill Ford as the starter.
Anybody who's anybody is here this weekend.
This is Le Mans 2015, the 83rd edition of the world's biggest and most famous race. 55 cars on the grid, lined up by the safety car. Got 4 mega factory teams. We got the President of France. What more could you ask for? 24 degrees, sunny afternoon, and we're about to go racing over the next 24 hours. Safety car pulls off. Porsches 18 and 17, Neil Jani and Timo Bernhardt holding the field. We are go, go, go.
Yeah, fabulous shot here, and the roar of all the engines. Of course, these guys will be, you know, not racing too heavily right now, but they'll, you know, they'll just be trying to get settled in, trying to get this first lap out of the way, get settled into a rhythm without any dramas or touches with any other cars.
Is that what you told them, Damien? Look, they were side by side, weren't they, all the way up to the Dunlop chicane there?
Yeah, but they're not going to be taking any chances on this first lap, I'm sure.
If you need convincing about the power
of the crowd,
if you need convincing about the power of hybrid engines, look how the hybrids are breaking away from the rest of the field instantly.
Yeah, it's amazing. You talk to any of the drivers out there, they're coming through Tertre Rouge onto the Mulsanne straight. A couple of the Audis there looking to change positions in the 4th and 5th position. But you talk to any other kind of the GT drivers or the LMP2 drivers, they're used to, you know, the faster cars pulling away, but the pace with which these hybrid cars pull away coming out of the corners is just mind-boggling, Damien.
It's crazy. Of course, they're going to have, what, maybe 1 or 2 laps, or maybe a bit more, before they start lapping other cars, GTs and stuff. So they'll be enjoying this now, because it's probably the first traffic-free, certainly for Timo Bernhard, who's just taken the lead in the number 17 Porsche.
And the 2 Toyotas there, well up in the mix at the moment. Big news this morning from Toyota. They are going to go proper hybrid, twin-turbo, smaller engines next year, drop the scooper capacitor and go for battery retrieval systems. They've realised that they're falling behind. They are going to come back with a vengeance. But maybe, who knows, they can still do well this
Well, we were just talking to Mike Conway this morning, actually, who's racing one of these Toyotas. And he was certainly more confident for the race. He said they didn't even attempt to go into qualifying mode because they know they're a little bit off, and they just concentrated on race pace. And he reckoned that the delta between the Toyota and the front of the field in qualifying would be a fraction of that. So that's good news.
Yeah, and as you can see here, they're just coming off the Mulsanne corner, coming up towards Indianapolis. This is another of the 4 places on the track where the cars reach the better part of 210 miles an hour. It's an amazing racetrack. There's 8.5 miles around, a lot of it public roads still, and you can see all of the P1 cars there still nose to tail as they, 3/4 of the way around the first lap. Here now under heavy braking for the left-hander at Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, because it's banked and it's a short squirt up to Arnage, perhaps the most difficult corner on the circuit. If you judge your speed wrong, whoop, you're in that wall. Rebellion, they're hanging on to the coattails of everybody, and Rebellion, interestingly, Jeremy, was the 2nd fastest of all cars in qualifying. 3:41 to Porsche, 3:39 to Reb.
Yeah, that's right. That new twin-turbo V6 AER engine developed in Basildon in Essex in England, and it's really showing its paces. As you say, remarkably, the second fastest car in a straight line in the qualifying sessions. They don't have the, I mean, it's a fraction of the budget that the factory teams are spending, so a great effort by the boys there at AER and that Rebellion Racing team. The car, that numbers 12 and 13, they've only had one brief test. Look at that battle for third place here. One of the Audis coming past. That is the car number 8 there with Marco Bono. No, it isn't. It's Loic Duval there making a move, and Dr. Ulrich there clapping showing his appreciation in the Audi garage.
Yeah, these guys mean business, don't they? And even we saw in the warm-up this morning the Audi having a fantastic pace, a 3:19 lap in warm-up, a couple of seconds clear of the field. Obviously that could have been traffic, but you see the emotion in Dr. Ulrich's face there. So these guys are up for it. The Audis look fantastic. They look to have a fantastic race pace, and yeah, we're having an exciting opening couple of laps.
That was Loic Duval pushing Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, the Formula 1 driver having his first Le Mans being pushed down. Now this is the danger spot for everyone. When you come out onto Tertrude, don't do this. Don't get 4 wheels off, because you will get penalised.
Well, we saw that in the first lap, I think, from one of those guys going all the way off, but I think they might give them a break just when they're all in a huddle together. But you can hear the hybrid system just there harvesting the energy under braking in the Audi. It's that sort of loud scream, and in fact the flywheel system that they use seemed to give us the sort of most the audio audio vision, if you like, idea of what that's doing. It's just harvesting energy everywhere.
Yeah, good to see. So here we are now halfway around the second lap. Still there's top 8 cars nose to tail. The Audis and the Porsches becoming intermingled just a little bit. The third of the Porsches there, car number 19, started by Nico Hülkenberg, the Formula 1 driver, as he turns into the chicane. Has been passed now by the second of the Audi, so both Loic Duval and Andre Lotterer have got past Nico Hülkenberg on that first lap.
I'll tell you what's nice to see here is that, I know it's early days, it's only lap 2, but the Toyotas are hanging on. Indeed. Right there, so Mike Conway, his predictions were right.
Yeah, and I was talking to Rob Lupin there, the team director, on Thursday night, and the Toyotas have been 4, 5, 6 seconds off the pace. It's a battle here for third place in P2. That's Sam Bird, I think, making a move on the inside of the Greaves Motorsport Gibson.
Yeah, that's great. We've got the top 4 cars in P2 we're looking at, all English-speaking drivers. Richard Bradley, an expat in Singapore, John Lancaster, Ollie Turvey, and Sam Bird. So that's an all-English-speaking fight at the moment.
And of course, not on our screens, but further back in the GTE Pro class, you've got Jimmy Bruni taking over the lead there from Richie Stanaway in the Aston.
Yeah, so Ferrari leads in GT Pro from Aston Martin, Richie Stanaway, Stefan Mucker, Aston Martin, Nicky Tim, Aston Martin. Then the best of the Porsches is Richard Leitz. And in the 6th place in the class in LMGT Pro, Oliver Gavin in that Corvette. In GTE AM, it's also Aston Martin out in front, as it was in qualifying. Pedro Lamy in car number 8, holding that lead ahead of Andrea Bertolini in the SMP Racing Ferrari.
Now, a big blow for car 67. That's one of the Pro Speed Run Team AA cars. A 5-minute stop-go penalty. We don't know quite what the punishments for yet. Well, as soon as we find out, we will let you know. But 5 minutes, Jeremy, that is a lifetime here at Le Mans.
Yeah, it certainly is. That's going to put him
a lap down.
Yeah, a lap and a half down, and he's already a long way back already. Here's a battle, though. This is a battle for the lead in GT Pro. Coming up towards Indianapolis, the Aston Martin there and the Ferrari absolutely side by side. Just edged it on the straightaway there was the Aston Martin, and there's Richie Stanaway just resting back that lead. What a great battle that is going to be. Again, that's another one's going to go all the way through.
The outside of Indianapolis as well. Richie Stanaway, always brilliant to watch. That was a brave move.
And as you said, a rookie, so his first race at Le Mans, and
fantastic.
Really socking it to him. Great coverage here from Le Mans, and look at this beautiful, beautiful weather. It's Audi who told us their meteo is now saying there will be good weather for the whole race. France meteo still suggesting rain, but perhaps not till 4 o'clock on Sunday, which won't matter at all. Look at the hybrid, the difference between them here. You can just see what's going on. And of course, You mentioned the flywheel, the Williams flywheel on board the Audi. Well, big day for Williams. Patrick Head is going to get his knighthood at last. He helped BMW win here in 1999, and he's been named Sir Patrick in the Queen's birthday honours.
Ah, good. He's a legend in motorsport, that's for sure, and motorsport engineering. But that system, actually, we're led to believe that system versus the system, the supercapacitor that Toyota has, and the battery pack that Porsche have, we're led to believe that Audi's system is perhaps over 24 hours more consistent in terms of performance. So if that information is right, it'll be very interesting to see how this pans out.
There's that GT battle coming through to complete lap 2 here. Richard Sanaway is now in the lead on that class from Jimmy Bruni. Nicky Tim has moved past Stefan Luca, number 95 ahead of 97, so it's still it's the Aston Martin who leads. Ferrari second place, Aston, Porsche and Corvette.
This is going to be a fabulous battle, I'm sure, for the entire race, because these cars are so closely matched. The Aston, of course, got the pole, but we shouldn't forget the fact that the Ferrari, after the first qualifying session, was relegated to the back of the grid and had to go for another shot on qualifying 2 and qualifying 3, and they reckon the track was 2 seconds slower, not Ferrari but another team, on the second day, and they just missed pole by under a tenth.
Yeah. And the reason he got that penalty was at turn at zone 6, which is again Tertre Rouge, going wide. You go wide and wider and wider, you get a big advantage as you go onto the chute down the Mulsanne. As you told us that night, you can gain maybe 2 or 3 seconds at.
Well, absolutely, that leads on to the big long straight and down to the first chicane, but I mean, that's a minimum speed. Even in these GT cars, it's a minimum speed of like 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, and what you're talking about there, it's the track limits is how it's defined, and we can see the white lines all around the racetrack, and there's curbing as well. If you put all 4 wheels over that is deemed as going out of bounds, and you're going to get a penalty. You're going to get a warning initially, but if you continue to do it, you're going to get a penalty, and that's exactly what happened to Jimmy Bruni, and also to his teammate in the number 71 car as well.
Well, we haven't seen it yet, thankfully, but we'll also talk when it happens about the new slow zones they're running here, rather than have to put a safety car out. Also new, just Damon, just having a look at the start again. The start is under investigation, we're told. Can you tell us why?
Probably because they're out of formation. It looked like row 3, the 2 Audis were completely not in touch with the front 2 rows, so
well, it's as if Marco Bononomi didn't even realise they would start.
They're not going to stop it at this rate, are they? But they might want to issue a little warning or a penalty to someone there, but they're certainly not going to restart the race. Here's another replay of the Audi passing the number, I think it was 19 Porsche.
That was a great move, wasn't it? Oh.
No, yeah, was it? Yeah, 19 Porsche.
And something else that's completely new for Le Mans this year, tyre restrictions now. 12 sets for the LMP1, 16 for LMP2 and GTE. So they're going to have to manage their tyres.
That's another, part of the strategy that's hugely challenging.
We'll have a chat about that in more length after this break. Make sure you stay here live on Eurosport from Le Mans. You're back at Le Mans, you're live on Eurosport. We're looking at the moment at the frenetic accident. I think Jeremy called it thrashing action between all the GTs here. And what a battle's going on here.
It wasn't an accident, there was certainly action though at the front of the field there. And it's the Ferrari then moving up now to take the battle to Richie Stanaway. There's a replay of what happened just a lap or so ago. Here the car's now coming through Indianapolis one more time, and it's still Richie Stanaway, the Kiwi, who leads that battle. Maybe we go back and forth. Okay, this is a replay again of the Aston Martin, just showing a slightly superior straight line speed advantage there. But in the test sessions yesterday, they're all very, very closely matched on top line speed. So I think Stanaway got a really good run off Mulsanne corner and was able to get past that Ferrari on the way to Indianapolis. And is the battle now in LMP2? It's still Richard Bradley that leads in that KCMG blue and silver car. But look at it closing in there. The orange and black car, that is the Ligier Honda of Sam Bird, who's closing in there in the second place, car number 26. We saw him make a move early in this race. Ligier Nissan, I should say, beg your pardon. And it's the Ligier Nissan there of Sam Bird closing in on Richard Bradley in that Orica Nissan.
Yeah, and
another battle there farther down the LMP2 field as well.
And what's just as important about this lead battle for the for LMP2 is the fact that we've got two manufacturers who are both bidding for future LMP2 chassis fighting. One is the Oreca-built Oreca Coupe, the other is the Ocron-built Ligier, and that is, again, bragging rights, Damien.
Yeah, of course. It's all about bragging rights, isn't it? But the fabulous battles here in LMP2. I think that's the Chris Cumming car, the 34 of Van Door, and the 38 of Chetland. So they're just swapping positions. So he's just got it. They've just swapped. That's two overtaking manoeuvres in two corners. So and we're still only at the beginning of the race, and now he runs wide. And here we go. We're going to have the third. He's going to get the better run out in the Ligier, and there we go. Lawrence battles all around.
Yeah, Lawrence Van Toor, I mean, what a hero he is. He's probably the fastest GT driver on the planet at the moment, leading the Blancpain Sprint and Endurance Series. He's driving with Kevin Estre, who's his biggest rival in the Blancpain. Kevin drives for McLaren, and they both had major wins this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and I know Kevin for a long time, and I've been a teammate of his and a rival of his, and he's no slouch either. So that's a great team put together there by Chris Cumming.
So excellent racing. Now, Jeremy, we've just had confirmation that 5-minute penalty is because of the engine change in the AAI Porsche after qualifying, and that was as a result of that fire on the Mulsanne on Thursday night.
Yeah, very scary moment there. Alex Capaggia, the Englishman, was at the wheel of the car at the time. That is a new 911 RSR, the newer car. The team also running an older 997 bodied version, but the older car was showing good pace actually, but a massive engine failure and a big fire, and the team has done a fantastic job to get that car ready again for the race. Look at this battle though in GT. Top three cars absolutely nose to tail, and now it's number 95 Aston Martin's Nicky Tim who takes the lead.
Yeah, the Ibanez the Jose Ibanez Oreca has been given a stop-go penalty for jumping the start. That's the 45 car. We didn't actually see that because we were concentrating on the front of the field.
Yes, we were. Just a brief note about that Ibanez car, though. Jose Ibanez, he had a problem in the warm-up. You might remember, if you were with us for the warm-up this morning, we saw that car number 45, that yellow and black Oreca stopped on the side of the road. It was a broken throttle cable in that car, but they've got it back going again, but with a little bit too much alacrity because he pressed the throttle a little bit too soon at the start. So as you say, a stop-and-go penalty for car number 45.
Well, that's funny you should mention that. Most cars now are fly-by-wire. They have no cable.
Yeah.
So, Damien, we've been watching that battle between Bradley and Bird, and it looks like Richard's now got his head down again. He's just increased the gap very slightly. It was 0.2, it's now 0.9.
Yeah, he's just pulled out almost 4/10 on that. Whoa, just on board with the 17 Porsche. You just see there, that's the challenge of that these guys have. So you're on part of the circuit there into Indianapolis, coming out down on the main road, and you see that he had to completely back off, and the P1s are now heavily involved in that traffic and that GT traffic. So this is all a lot of strategy, cool heads, and clever drivers, being predictable, and you know, just on both on the GT part, and of course the onus is on the P1s to get past safely, but the GT drivers, you know, have an onus as well to be, and a responsibility to be as predictable as they can be.
And right in the middle of that bunch they're passing, great to see it, the 50 Corvette, the Jacques Leconte run Labra car, the one that's heavily shunted this morning. They team fixed it, they got back out. I'm sure Pratt and Miller threw everyone they had spare on that car to get that rebuilt in the 4 hours between the warm-up and the race, and there it is. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, excellent job.
Yeah, it's always good to see a bad story turn good.
So 5 laps already completed, coming up to the end of lap 6, and the battle is still a sprint race with 24 hours, 23:39 still to go, and it's not going to ease for 1 second, is it?
No, it's fabulous. I mean, yeah, even in the GTE Pro, there's 3 Aston Martins in the top 4 there, with Jimmy Bruni being the odd one out in the Ferrari, and down to 3rd place now. Back in GTE you've got the Aston of Pedro Lamy leading. Shout out for my Irish colleague Matt Griffin, who's making some progress there. He's up now to P5.
And 2 cars in the pits, and number 23 Nissan, that was started by Jan Mardenborough, so that car in the pits already, and also the number 29 car into the pits as well. That is the Pegasus Racing entry. Neo Roussel, the youngest driver in the field, who started that car. He's just 19 years of age, from Marcoussis in France, and that car on pit lane as well. Looks like the number 23 car is going to get going again, but an early pit stop for Jan Mardenborough.
Meanwhile, through the traffic, the Audis have just swapped positions, with Andrea Larter passing Loic Duval there in traffic, just getting a good run out of Tete Rouge, and he got him into the first chicane.
Marco Bononomi trying to thread his way through those Aston Martins. They're not back markers, they're having their own huge race up front, but 6 laps into the race, all the GT cars are now being passed by the leaders, and look at the weaving and dodging and darting going on here between Porsche and Audi. This is just top-class racing.
Isn't it just? They're weaving their way through the GT cars already here. We're on lap 7 now for our leaders, and the pace up until they started lapping the slower cars, they were all lapping around about, the leaders are all lapping around about 3 minutes 20, which is about, less than a second away from the outright circuit track record here, which was 3 minutes 19.394, set back in 2008 by Stefan Sarrazin in the Peugeot, before they tried to slow.
Just ease up on the brake pressure a bit. Locking wheels, just ease up on the brake pressure a bit.
So what you're hearing there is Timo Bernhard radioing his team and saying that he's got a little bit of oversteer. Obviously it's under braking, because he's asking him to be a little bit more tentative on the brake pedal on the way into the turns.
Yeah, so adjusting the balance, just explain to the viewer how that will affect that.
Well, it's probably an electronic system, adjustment system on the P1s. So basically, unlike your normal road car, where it's the brakes are separated diagonally, these brakes on racing cars are separated front and back, so you have to balance them. Normally you run a little bit more on the front, and you can just basically, oh, here's some radio. So that's interesting. We just heard from one of the Audi drivers. He's also struggling with the rear. So that actually could be track conditions, and that's funny that we've had sort of similar messages from the 2 P1 drivers.
And that was Andre Lotterer there. So the gap between first and second at the moment, 4.5 seconds. It's still 2 Porsches out front, then 2 Audis, Lotterer and Duval, and then Nico Hülkenberg having his baptism of fire. We're going down to the pits for a quick interview.
Well, we're here after only 14 months of starting this project with 3 cars, which is fantastic effort for the guys in the garage. It's obviously a very, very innovative concept that we've got here, and we're using this in an extended test. I mean, obviously, as racers, we want to be up the front, but in a big project like this, you have to do your small baby steps. It's our first year back out. We've been here for 15 years, and you know, we've got to be there to get the data and see what we can do next year.
Well, I think this is an incredible project for the future. I know a lot of the fans of Nissan are excited to see what you're going to come up with next year, you know, how much stronger this will be. A lot of your drivers are doing their first LMP1 race and even their first Le Mans here. I can imagine the package will be so much stronger next year.
Absolutely, you know, no one ever comes to Le Mans and wins first year. It should be hard. It's the greatest race in the world. If it was easy, everyone would come and do it. Yeah, we've got some great fans. I mean, just opposite us here, we've got some fans all the way from Japan. Every time the Nissans go past, they wave their flags. So we've had fantastic support. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for their support on the project. You know, we've been very open with the fans and the press, and we've just got great support back. So thank you very much. Bear with us. We're going to keep going around as much as we can, and we'll be back next year stronger and going harder at the front.
Well, we will keep everything crossed that your 3 cars will be here at the checkered flag. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks, Darren Cox, the man with his head on the Nissan block. And as he said, we're just here for fun this year. We're going to keep going around. But last year, Andy Palmer, who's then head of Nissan, said, we're going to win Le Mans in 2 years. He left the company a few weeks later.
Well, as one clever old fox told me one time, you can never buy a 24-hour win. However, whilst that's probably true, it's a lot of hard work that these guys put in, and we've got the might of Audi, and they just come here every year. You know, over 24 hours, they are seriously hard to beat, as a lot of manufacturers find out.
And that was Pascal Vasselon, the race engineer, talking to Sebastian Buemi at the wheel of the Toyota car number 1. 22 seconds his deficit to the race leader after 7 laps. That's 3 seconds a lap. We thought it was going to be a couple of seconds a lap. I thought it was going to be a couple of seconds a lap, but they're 3 seconds they're losing each lap to the race leader.
Jeremy, during that interview with Darren Cox, we also heard a radio message to Neil Yanni of Porsche, and they said, look, 4 laps to the first fuel. That would mean like around 11 laps. Yeah. You're expecting them to go
13 or 14
laps.
Yeah, the first thing though, because they've done at least one reconnaissance lap and then done a parade lap as well. Here's another move for the lead. Now this is for Sam Bird on the outside line here. The blue and white car is Richard Bradley. The orange and black car is Sam Bird. This is a battle for the lead in LMP2, and in third place Tristan Gomondi in the number 46 TDS by Thierry car. Well, it's actually Richard Bradley who holds on to that advantage. Looked like Sam Bird was going to get it, but the first of the Le Mans chicanes, Mulsanne straight chicanes, it is still Richard Bradley that leads in LMP2.